On Arizona's Morning News, I was talking about a woman who drove a car into a canal near 35th Avenue and Durango Street after refusing to pull over for DPS troopers. As firefighters were setting up to help, the woman performed her own rescue, climbing out of her partially submerged car only to be taken into custody, accused of, wait for it, driving under the influence. Shocking, I know. Nobody was hurt, so I guess we can laugh about this. Since I got sober more than a dozen years ago, I've laughed about plenty of situations like this one, and laughed about them with the people who were the ones behind the wheel in those situations. That's what recovery has brought me and millions of others, the ability to look back and laugh at the insane way we used to live, because we aren't those pathetic people anymore. You know, maybe the only way this woman drives herself into a canal and rescues herself story gets funnier, with that sick sense of humor, is if, well, one of the cops who was chasing her had been drunk. I know a guy who was a drunk cop. He's spoken in meetings about firing his service weapon drunk in a bar in a New York City police uniform. A misfiring weapon finally brought him to sobriety. He came out of a blackout to the sound of a rifle that he'd put in his own mouth, clicking, but not firing. I'm grateful that New York Joe, as we call him, was unsuccessful in ending his then miserable existence, and then was successful in ending his misery by utilizing the 12 steps to have a decent existence. Otherwise, I never would have gotten to be friends with Joe, who's taught me so much about staying sober. He never shoved his decades of sobriety in my face to tell me what to do, never flouted his friendship with classic New York Mayor Ed Koch or anything else to explain what an important guy he was, because he didn't think he was important. But he was important, because he was an example of how to stay sober one day at a time, with humility. Last week, New York Joe was taken out by cancer, passing away with more than 54 years of sobriety. By most accounts, that's 54 years longer than he should have lived, which added about 54 million more laughs to this earth.